आज से कुछ साल पहले मैं मुंबई आया था और जब भी किसी से मिलता था तो कोई बोलता था कि मुझे फिल्म एक्टर बनना है, कुछ लोग टीवी में खुश थे और आजकल सबको वेब सीरीज़ में काम करना है। ऐसे बहुत ही कम एक्टर्स होते हैं जो किसी भी कैटेगरी में कैटेगराइज नहीं हो पाते। वो बस ये चीज़ मानते हैं कि या तो तुम अच्छे एक्टर हो या बुरे, और अगर अच्छे एक्टर हो तो कोई भी प्लेटफॉर्म या मीडियम मैटर नहीं करता। और आप ऐसे कितने एक्टर्स को जानते हो जिन्होंने अमिताभ बच्चन, आलिया भट्ट, विकी कौशल, सैफ अली खान, करीना कपूर, मनोज बाजपेयी, इरफान खान एंड ऑफ कोर्स सुशांत सिंह राजपूत, इन सब के साथ काम किया है। वेल, आज हम एक ऐसे ही एक्टर से बात करने जा रहे हैं। उनका करियर शुरू हुआ था 90s में एंड टिल infinity. We are honored and privileged to have him amongst us. Please welcome the supremely talented, legendary Mr. Shishir Sharma.
I would work till I can work and till my body says, okay, work. Once the body gives up, then you give up. Generation probably do not understand the word intimacy. They feel that jumping into bed is intimacy. That's not. People have asked me to do television, but then I don't want to go that path because I know that it's not going to satisfy my creative sensibilities. So I was not one of those actors कि कटोरो लेके जाओ बोलो सर मैं एक्टर हूँ मैं प्रोफाइल देखना चाहेंगे क्या. There's so much to see in this country. Not because of Lakshadweep. No,
I was thinking this. हेलो सर, वेलकम. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू आप आए यहाँ पर. एंड so sir, when we were like preparing for this podcast, I was constantly thinking that what is that we can ask you different. You know, your work, your filmography is so vast and so out there and people know so much about you. So I thought that probably the new thing would be that let's tap into the mentality and the state of mind that why certain things happened at different stages of life. Okay, so first I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think you first screen work started in 95.
Yes.
With Swabhiman.
Yes.
So I think you were like your age was around mid 30s that time.
Yes. In 1974, I was 19.
Right.
So 20 years later.
Okay.
39.
So 39. So for any actor who's kind of just starting out and stuff, like we generally say मतलब 20s में you know we feel like कि late हो रहा है you know अब काम नहीं मिल रहा है in years. But what was the reason first of all of starting so late, probably in screen only?
No, it was not deliberate. Having done theatre and started with theatre, I wanted to continue theatre.
Okay.
And wanted to see where it takes me because I was also doing business with my dad.
Oh, okay.
So it was, I was never a professional actor.
Okay.
My profession was business.
All right.
I was a businessman everywhere, be it a passport, be it government, be it consulates, be it anywhere. I was a businessman. Theatre happened, acting happened by default.
All right.
I was never an actor, never wanted to be an actor. I was an introvert completely. Never would make friends with you know, kids in school. Never studied in Mumbai. I studied in a school called Rishi Valley,
Okay.
which is on the border of Andhra and Karnataka. Having gone there, having come back, tasted 2 years of schooling life in Mumbai, went to Naseeruddin Shah College to do my business management,
Right.
did my commerce, joined my dad, got married at a very, very early age.
What age, if I may ask?
23.
23,
No, of course,
okay.
you can ask. I'm very proud of having got married at the
Okay.
age of 23. Had 2 daughters. By the age of 29, I was mukt
Yeah.
from
Free from the settlement
the
idea and
world
all that.
asking me कि एक बच्चा कब होगा that kind.
right.
So I was very happy. I mean, both of us, me and my wife, were extremely happy that we had finished that responsibility.
Yeah.
Joined my dad. I used to do evening college, Narsimunji. During the day, I used to be with my dad. So business actually took the forefront. My parents, just a little background, my parents were also from the theatrical background.
Oh, okay.
My dad was the secretary, treasurer of an organization called IPTA Mumbai, IPTA.
Okay.
Which had people like Kafi Azmi, A.K. Hangal, R.M. Singh, M.S. Satyu, Shaukat, Geeta, Siddharth, all those people. Giving you a background of that, there was a film called Garam Hawa, Balraj Sahni's last film,
Yeah.
which my dad produced along with, that time FFC, Film Finance Corporation, now NFDC. So he was also connected with theatre, but because business took the front for him, he could not continue theatre. But my mother continued theatre till she died.
Right.
Both my parents were very, very, well, they were very supportive, and so was my wife. Ki, you want to do theatre, go ahead, because theatre is something that cannot leave you. You may want to leave theatre, but theatre doesn't leave you. So that way I continued to doing theatre, and for the want of getting roles in films or in television or whatever, I continued doing theatre, which I enjoyed.
Right.
Side by side.
But this time screen work was not an idea?
No, screen work
Okay.
was never an idea. Swabhiman happened with a very close friend of ours, Vinod Ranganath, who was writing Swabhiman with Shobha Day.
Okay.
We were rehearsing for a play at Chetna College in Bandra East. And he comes up to me and says, Shishir, there's a role of a character in Swabhiman which is negative. 25 episode का रोल है, करेगा? मैं एक्टर हूँ यार, मैं कुछ भी कर लूँगा.
Yeah.
So go and meet this person. I went to Film City, met the person. He said, come on Falana day. We reached there. Manoj was also there. We sat in one room, rehearsed one scene for I don't know how many number of times. And in the evening, Mahesh Bhatt called us and said, come, this is your chance. 3 cameras were set up, just like this. And we did the scene. In 15 minutes, the scene was over because 3 cameras set up at that time. DD1.
Wow.
At that time, there was only DD1.
Right.
There was no satellite channel. So we did that, and they said, okay, fine, you come for shoot. And both of us were inducted into the Swabhiman.
What was that feeling like? Like Swabhiman is one of the most successful and memorable shows we have.
Now, in hindsight, we think that Swabhiman was a very successful show. But when we joined Swabhiman, we didn't know what television was. We didn't know what camera acting was.
Okay.
We were only stage, and stage is 70 mm.
Right.
Film is like this, man. So we didn't know what it was. But when we met, Rohit was there, Kitu Gidwani was there, Anju Mahindra was there, Kumud was there, Ashutosh Ram. So all these people, when we got together, then we realized that this is, Swabhiman is now a name to reckon with.
Right.
It became cult.
Yeah.
That kind of television, that kind of cinema became cult because there was nothing else, to be very frank. Satellite channels came much later. So for the want of doing anything else, I said, chalo, ye bhi kar lete hain.
And that opened doors.
And that opened doors because I did almost 525 episodes.
Wow.
Ashutosh Rana did even more. Manoj Bajpayee did even more than me. So we were in a very happy space.
Right.
After which came Ekta Kapoor's shows. Star came in, whatever, Z came in, all those satellite channels came in. And then slowly people started getting work. That opened the doors for me because I got Ekta Kapoor's show called Kanyadan with Kiran Kher. And we were shooting. I was playing her husband. There was Sudhanshu Pandey, there was Jayati Bhatia, there was Hussain, who's now a big star. I worked with him in Kumkum for 4 years. I did 4 years of television, just one show.
So I want to talk about some of my favorite childhood memories, and the top of that comes CID. Okay.
Oh, there's a huge story behind CID. Yes, ask me the question.
And the question is that I was just reading the titles of the shows you have done, and I'm very good at lines, but this is still tough for me. So the first one was किस्सा रात के शिकार का, and the second one I think the talkative case, नहीं, the case of talkative skeleton. So मतलब कुछ तो गड़बड़ थी उस टाइम पे इन चीज़ों.
No, you know, BP Singh, who was a fantastic person, great filmmaker, Pradeep Upur, who was there on his side. Both of them did CID, both of them did Ahat. I did both the shows. Right. I did the third episode of CID.
Okay.
The very third episode when CID was launched. And I reached, there was a bungalow in Warsaw. I don't remember the name. I don't think it's there anymore. But they said, well, we started shooting. And BP Saab said, Pankha hai, latak jao. Matlab? How? There was no harness.
Yeah.
And I had to hang.
लटक जाओ मतलब like just.
नहीं, लटक जाओ मतलब like a noose.
Oh.
And there was no harness on me. So I say, लटक गया मैं. Towel बांध के. And Pradeep came and said, Shishir, what is the matter with you? So I don't know. BP Saab said, लटक जाओ, so मैं लटक गया. There, I think BP Saab thought that this is an actor or this is a man who will understand what I want to do. I became very, very close to him. वो जब भी पूछते थे, शिशिर एक रोल है, पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. I never asked for money from them. जो मिलता है ले लेने का. So I was not one of those actors कि कटोरो लेके जाओ बोलो सर मैं एक्टर हूँ. मैं प्रोफाइल देखना चाहेंगे क्या? वैसा कभी नहीं मैंने किया. So Ahat came, CID came, many other.
But probably that came because you were well settled through business.
I didn't bother whether I was getting this or not because I had plan B anyway.
Okay.
My father was very supportive. He said, "Milega, you go and work, you go and act. You like the profession, you go do whatever you want." But business also at the same time had to be fulfilled.
Right.
My father was not getting younger. I mean, he was getting older, and obviously I had to take on the mantle of, looking after the business. So, foreign trips were made 3 times a year. Okay. For 20 days each trip, 15 days each trip. So that took its toll on my curricular activity, which is acting.
Right.
Which was my passion. Still remains my passion, but now it has become my profession because business वैसे ही खत्म हो गया. So बहुत सारे shows किए. Well, just to put it on record, I think I have done close to 19 daily soaps.
Wow.
And if you take each daily soap to be at least 300 episodes, so you can imagine the number of episodes that I've done. And I've done 19. I've got a whole resume of the shows that I've done.
6,000.
Something like that. I don't know. I'm just taking a minimum figure of 300 episodes per daily soap, which is definitely a lot. Like Kumkum, I did 4 years. Aya Gaya, but I did it for 4 years. Kumkum went on for 6.5 years.
But, matlab, why TV? Like, at least the modern people, they have lot of, I don't like this term, but like stereotype हो जाएंगे, या all these like, film actor बनना है, कि TV करना है. But what was the passion behind you liking TV?
There was nothing else to do because I was not getting the kind of films that I wanted.
Okay.
Maybe people thought that I am still not to that mark to do a film. So I kept on doing television. I was happy with television.
Okay.
Whatever it was giving me my fame, name, recognition, money, whatever it is. I did get the name, and it's because of television that I am here today. I will not deny that. Okay. It's not because of films. But you need to be, what can I say? You need to have the kind of etiquette. You need to have the kind of protocol. You can't be high-handed. You can't go to a television set that I have done so many shows, so give me treatment as per my stature in the industry. That doesn't happen, and that should never happen.
But
Pankaj Tripathi said something very nice. I was hearing him the other day, and he said, "क्या ज़रूरत है भाग दौड़ की? इत्मीनान से काम कीजिए ना. अगर आपको काम मिल रहा है तो काम कीजिए, नहीं मिल रहा है तो भागिएगा मत. जिंदगी बहुत बड़ी है. what is the point of running for a show or for a film? Or don't be dejected if you don't get it. I think that is the main crux. When you come to an industry like this, which is not a very friendly industry for any newcomer, the moment you are rejected, you go home dejected, you go home disillusioned by the fact that you did not get what you wanted, or what you've come here for. That was, I think, that was the main problem with a lot of people coming to Mumbai. City of dreams, I mean, I'm not denying it.
So the fame you had, like you said, in TV, when it opened door for films, so did that fame kind of help you over there in terms
No,
of...
it didn't.
No,
It didn't. Because I was a newcomer in this industry. I was a newcomer into films. My first film was Satya. Ram Gopal Verma's Satya. Tiny bit of a role. I was asked to do this role by Anurag Kashyap. I went, met Ram Gopal, went to Matunga to shoot, waited there the entire day and shot for it in the night or in the evening, whatever. Well, last scene tha for the day. Manoj was there. I did it also because of Manoj. Manoj was a very, very close friend.
Okay.
He was my right hand in Swabhiman. Then he, stabbed me in the back and then went on. So for me to do Satya, for me was a high point. Because it was a huge film for Manoj. It was Ram Gopal Verma's first Hindi film. And I said, well, I'm going to be in a film. People saw me. Nothing happened after that. But yes, I got bit roles here, there and everywhere. So I kept on doing it. I never thought ki no, because I am so I've done so many TV shows and I have a name in television, that I will not do these kind of films. You need exposure. Right. And that's why I tell actors that do not hide behind a shield that you've done this, so you will not do this. You need exposure. People need to see you. And today's times, we'll come to that, but everybody wants to be seen. And when you want to be seen, you need to do it.
So you mean probably the screen time?
Whether it be a minuscule role or whether it be a largish role. When actors are taken because they are actors, then I think you should consider yourself to be grateful for being there on that screen.
Right. And one such, again, a very strong childhood memory is Om Jai Jagdish.
Yes.
I mean, itni baar maine dekha hai Zee Cinema mein. I think all of us, we've just watched so many times. And you come in the end,
yes,
then wo
that is one film that I don't think people will ever forget, although that film didn't do well at all in the box office. But because I was very close to Kiran Kher, Anupam asked me to do this role.
Yeah.
And we shot this in Infosys in Bangalore.
Why him? How was he?
Because he's Kiran Kher's
No, of course. Kiran Kher's relation to this film was...
Because I was working with Kiran Kher in Kanyadan.
Okay.
And she thought that I may be able to, carry this role. So he asked me to do it, and I was a newcomer on that set. There was Fardeen Khan, there was Anil Kapoor, there was Abhishek, and there was Wahida ji, and there was a host of others, plus Anupam's directorial venture. So I said, yeah, why not? I mean, so we went and shot it in Infosys, and it was great. When I did the very first shot, if you remember the film, where Abhishek comes with those 100 boxes of pizzas, and then he says, I want to speak to you. So then I tell him 100 seconds.
Yeah.
And when he's speaking, then I say 100 seconds are up. So yeah, I mean, that happened. Then Sarkar Raj happened again with Ramu, where I worked with Bachchan Saab. Abhishek was also there, Aishwarya was there, and there were a host of other actors. Govind Namdev became very, very dear to me. Sayaji Shinde, again a very dear friend. Ravi Kale, also a very dear friend, who worked with me in theatre. So, having done those kind of films, I thought that maybe I'm trying to find my footing in the, industry. Not the television, but the film industry, so-called. didn't get the kind of work that I thought I would. But didn't deter me.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, people must have thought that maybe I'm not suited for a particular character, or I never promoted or projected myself as an actor. You know, there are people who parties में जाते हैं,
अच्छा.
Bombay Times में page 3 पे आते हैं, you interact with those kind. I never did that, and I still don't do it. I am not one of those actors. I am satisfied with whatever I get, and whatever I get, I do it to the best of my ability. That is my motto as far as an actor is concerned. So I thought, ठीक है, नहीं मिलता है. So I kept doing theatre. But then after a while, I suddenly felt that theatre was getting a little regressive. I mean, television was getting a little regressive. But I continued to doing television. It's okay, fine. One day I decided that no, that television is done and finished.
And that was in 2017, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So I decided, no, I'm not doing it. Because in television, you've probably done television also. When you get into a particular character, or when you get onto a particular set, they say, बहुत अच्छा रोल है सर, आपके लिए ये है वो है. एक महीने बाद कहते हैं कि सर ये ट्रैक नहीं वर्क कर रहा है. What do? You have to start from scratch, right?
Right.
Status quo, 0. And you go back and फिर वही कि हम तो एक्टर हैं, हमको थोड़ा सा काम दे दीजिए. But I never did that. But I got work. I was happy.
Has it changed television from what it was before in terms of...
It must have changed, because I don't want to even go that path. People have asked me to do television, but then I don't want to go that path, because I know that it's not going to satisfy my creative sensibilities. And television will never satisfy your creative sensibilities,
Right.
because it is kind of a machine that you go in the morning, you churn out whatever you have to, leave, come back the next morning, again churn out something. It doesn't really give
It's like
you
a job.
Yeah, it doesn't give you that satisfaction anymore. Earlier on, during Swabhiman days, when I did Itihas, Swabhiman, Kanyadan, even when the satellite channels came, it gave you a certain satisfaction after having done. Swabhiman was for us a job. It was 9 to 6, period. There was nothing beyond 6 o'clock. So we finished at 6 o'clock, we all went home, came back the next morning. We used to get scripts at home for the next day, which was unheard of. And unheard of now, to not possible at all. Kabhi scripts bhi nahi aati hai when we reach the set. So I was happy. Then came a time where I did Mary Kom. Mary Kom, I thought, would kind of change people's attitude towards me, or people's thinking that yes, here is an actor. It didn't happen. Okay, fine. Came Dangal. Again, I thought the same. Didn't happen. Then came Talvar. Talvar, I thought, will, kind of push me through different doors. It didn't happen. Acclaim, critical acclaim, all that happened. Yes, very nice, beautiful, this, that, and the other. You were damn good and all that. Then came Raazi. Raazi changed. It just requires one to click. Naseer had said something very nice. Whether you're Marlon Brando or whether you are the godsend, the greatest actor, if you're not remembered by a particular film, you are no one. I was remembered and still remembered by Raazi. So Raazi changed the complete outlook for people to understand that yes, Shishir Sharma is...
But why? Why do you think so?
I don't know. Probably the way I played that character, probably the entire persona, it was just because it was a Pakistani character didn't mean that all Pakistanis are fools. It was a humane story. There was a family in Raazi. It was an army family. We acted like an army family. We behaved like one on set. It was fantastic. That changed, and then came Uri and Chichore, and so I can very proudly say, even on camera today, that 6 of the most iconic films, which people will never forget, are these: Mary Kom, Dangal, Talvar, Raazi, Uri and Chichore.
But did you somewhere, wow, I was just like thinking that, you have been a part of all the iconic TV shows,
Yes.
all the, like you said, the films. And
Yes.
it's very few people can say that, the, from DD to even TVF,
Yes.
like this journey
Yes.
of doing everything. I don't think very few actors probably
Correct,
have this.
probably.
And okay, let's now, because I've mentioned TVF, what's fresh about this production? What happened during Permanent Roommates?
Oh, fantastic. We didn't know first of all, what internet and what this whole web
Yeah.
shows were all
Yeah.
about. I mean, TVF came up with that. I remember Sameer and Viswapati talking to me and saying that, sir, we've got this show, we want you to come and act. And we, okay, fine, camera hai, jab act karte hain. Never knew that it was going to be for a web series.
Okay.
We finished the series. It became a raging hit. Sumit was fantastic. Sumit is anyway a fantastic actor. Nidhi was superb. I don't know how I gelled and I fitted in, and everybody said, no, we want a father like you. Arey, you cannot have a father like me. I mean, they're different fathers. I mean, they're different people and they're different perspectives. So we finished that and then we did the second season. Then there was a sudden lull after the second season. I don't know what happened. I guess they left TVF, they started their own company and so on and so forth. Then we did the third season now, after 7 years. And it still created that magic that the first season had created for TVF as far as Permanent Roommates was concerned.
Right.
That was one hell of a journey. It was absolutely mad. The second season was even madder because there was Darshan Jariwala, there was Shiba Chedda, there was Aisha, Kumud's wife. So it was crazy. I mean, I've never seen something as mad as that because that was the first thing that came onto Indian television. Later on, there was a lot of people who jumped onto the bandwagon, started doing whatever they wanted to do. But this was what I thought was something that I will be remembered, and I have told people that whenever you have any kind of stress, watch Permanent Roommates because it is a stress buster. You just forget about everything else. And I've seen that.
That's true. That's true.
I've seen that myself as well. Whenever I'm down and out,
You watch your work?
I sometimes do. And I show it to my wife more than anything else because she's probably the biggest critic of mine. And I want that criticism. There are people who don't like criticism. If it is a healthy or unhealthy criticism, it really doesn't matter. But you need to know where you stand.
What does your wife think about you as an actor?
I think she thinks that I'm a good actor.
Okay.
And she's seen some of my work. I'm not talking about people who go gaga. I don't know whether they're actually going gaga over my work or they just want to say it on my face. I am not too sure about it. But there are some people who really appreciate my work because when we went to see Talvar, there was a whole family, I think about 27 of us. We went to see Talvar. After Raazi, again 30 of us. I booked 30 tickets, we all went.
Wow.
We came back home,
Yeah.
Anish, and nobody spoke. Nobody. I was damn scared. Kya kahenge ye log? Then I think my daughter's father-in-law, who was in the police, started off a conversation, and from there on, the entire conversation, kind of opened up as to what they thought of a film like Raazi, which I still think. I still think Talvar is a fantastic film because of the kind of emotion that there was, the way Meghna ji handled that subject. It was a very thin line.
Right.
It was a true story. Not that Raazi was not a true story. But still, Talvar was one of those iconic films, and Irrfan was absolutely...
If you had to choose one out of the two, what would your preference be?
If you ask me as an actor, I would say Raazi. If you ask me as an outsider, I would say Talvar. Because Talwar had a lot more for Meghna ji to do in terms of the writing, which Vishal wrote brilliantly with Meghna Gulzar, and the way she directed the film. Every little thing that was needed for her not to prove that they are guilty, but to prove a point.
Right.
Because it was a three-pronged viewpoint,
Yeah.
which Vishal brought in. So I thought, yeah, I think that was, and the last scene was an absolute masterclass in acting, because I thought that that whole table sequence was something else. I don't think you will ever see a table sequence like that ever again in a film. 7, 8 of us, all theatre actors. It was one of the most fantastic memories I have of Irrfan and Prakash Balewari and Atul Kumar and Pramod and everybody. I mean, it was fantastic. Soham Shah.
What was about him, Irrfan Khan, that made him so special?
I didn't think he acted. He was himself. I knew him from playing days when we used to play cricket at the Kalina Airlines, Indian Airlines ground. And we used to play cricket. He had, of course, he was in another team, we had a team. So we used to be there on the nets and we used to mingle and have chai and all that. And he behaved the same way on the set, that he never acted. I mean, he was so confident of what he was doing. He didn't need to. His eyes spoke a lot. And he was so casual about everything, you know, which made him so special. When you and me get the lines, we try and ponder as to how.
Yeah.
But he just gets it. It's very instinctive for him. He just gets it, and that's what makes him so special. He's like, I mean, I would say Naseer Saab is probably very close to him in the way he works, in the way he emotes, in the way he says his lines, in the way he is on screen. On stage, of course, he's a different man altogether. But on screen, he's something else. I've done one film with him called Rogan Josh, which is a short film, 16 and a half minutes. You must see that film. I mean, they wanted somebody who knew Naseer outside the film industry for more than 40 years.
Okay.
And I know Naseer since 1974, since the time he came from FTII, from the time he started searching for a flat in Santa Cruz. Since that time, Om, Naseer, Tom, all these guys. So we were all one group, you know. And then, of course, Naseer, being Naseer, he went far ahead with Om Puri and Tom, and they will never finish doing theatre. As far as Naseer is concerned, definitely not. So the director came to me, Sanjeev Vick came to me and said, "You know Naseer, sir?" So I said, "Yes." "For how long?" I think I told him about 42 years. He said, "Yeah, good. Will you do my film? I will not pay." I said, "Okay, I will do it." Money was not the criteria. I wanted to work with him. I've known him for so long, but never had the opportunity to work with him in front of the camera, on screen, share the same screen space with him. So I said yes. So we did that film. And it turned out to be one of those films which one can keep watching all the time. Got a message from Ratna, who happens to be my Rakhi sister as well. And that message is stored in my phone. I have Naseer's message after he saw Talwar. That message is stored on my phone. I will never erase that message. Because
What was it?
It's very seldom that you get messages like this from actors who also happen to be your contemporaries. Ratna is very close to me. She is my contemporary. We started theatre. Sambhog Se Sannyas Tak was the first play we did. And Naseer Saab, of course, he said, "Sharma ji, fantastic job. Talwar, I saw it on flight," or something like that. He didn't necessarily need to make that comment about me, but he did. And that is, unka badappan hai. And that is why I feel that, you know, actors like him are very seldom found. If you are good in your work, and if I've appreciated your work, I will never take, it's okay. I'll come up to you and say, fantastic, yeah, Anish, superb work. I don't think you should shy away from that angle at all. I feel so.
So now, like, I would like to know you personally a bit, and then come back to
Yes.
the work. So you said you got married when you were 23, and it was an arranged marriage
No.
or love marriage?
It was a love marriage.
Love marriage. So tell
We
me.
dated each other for 6 years before that.
Oh wow! It's a college
Yes.
romance.
No, school romance.
School romance. Okay.
I was in the 11th, I think, when I came to Mumbai. From Rishi Valley, I came to Mumbai, did 10th and 11th here in Mumbai from Scottish. And that's the time I met my wife.
Yeah.
It just so happened that we met, we gelled. Her cousin used to stay opposite my house. So every evening,
Wow.
वो सामने वाली खिड़की में वो हिसाब हो गया. And yeah, so we got along very, very well. And we decided, of course, she's from a community which is a very orthodox community, which is the Saraswat community. And I stayed in the Saraswat colony all my life. So I knew everybody in that colony, and I also learnt the language without having tuitions for that language or without going to school or having somebody come. I just heard people and I understood the language. I spoke the language, and I speak the language sometimes even better than the Saraswats.
So you checked in all the in-laws.
Yes,
criteria.
absolutely. Then, of course, finally they did agree to her getting married to me. And yeah, we got
It
married.
was tough, the convincing part.
Yes, it was tough because being a very orthodox kind of community, they were not very keen that she gets married to somebody outside the community, which is, in most cases, it happens. Yeah, but we got married. My parents were very broad-minded. They didn't give any kind of grief to either me or to her. We got married, and yeah, at the age of 23, 22nd April 1978 is the marriage date. Got married in Jew Hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, the reception was in Sun and Sand, and yeah, I mean, looking back at those photographs, I feel that, oh my goodness, did I really look like this? So it's been, yeah, it was, and now it's 45 years married, 6 years prior to that. So it is
51.
now 51, and yeah, we're very happy.
What do you think about love? Like, how has it changed from that time to today?
First of all, I think people should understand what the word love means.
Okay.
I don't think many have understood what love means. Love is something which is unconditional, which you don't need to show and shower love every time. You need to do certain things that makes you feel happy, and the opposite partner feels happy that you're doing something for her or for him. शाम को आप घर जाते हैं, if she is out, make a cup of tea. It's as simple as that. Or keep a bowl of biscuits with tea there, and she comes and, who made this? I made it for you. That's love. I don't think love can be equated with sex. Some people, are very brash about it. It's not something which is trivial. It is something which is very deep rooted. You need to understand, and from deep inside, you need to understand what love means. It's as simple as that. You come home, make a cup of tea, either she makes or I make or whatever, whoever the partner is, makes, and you sit down and talk. You be friends. We were friends. Now, getting married at the age of 23 and 21, obviously what would you be? You would be friends, right? At that time, we didn't understand what love was. But as we grew, we understood, and we grew with the kids. We understood what love is all about.
How does it change with age? The meaning of love?
Yeah, it does. It does change. It does change a lot, because in the beginning, there was love, but there was also other things that you were wanting to do in life because you were so young. But as you grow older, you find something more deep-rooted than just being together. You want to be there, you want to do certain things for the partners, either she or he. And I would think that even if you make a small gesture of buying a movie ticket and taking her out or taking him out would mean love. I don't mean love by sleeping. I don't mean love that you have to keep on saying that I love you, I love you, I love you. I don't think that is what I would call love. I would call love by just going back home in the evening, sitting with her, having a drink and being with her. Just being together. I think that is very important. Going out on trips, going out for a film, going out for a meal together.
Sweet small acts of service.
Absolutely. And not necessarily that you need to have a candle, because that does not signify. Yeah, well, it says, okay, I'll take you out for a candlelight dinner. But yeah, in the passing, yes, it's okay. But just sitting there across the table and looking at each other or talking to each other about everything under the sun would mean more than saying I love you every morning or every night or whatever it is. Sometimes you're passionate. You want to say that, okay, I love you. Fine.
Right. And what do you think about where are we going as a generation in terms of now there is open marriages and there's all sorts of new things which are happening and people have justifications for that which...
I don't know. I mean, I think they get into a relationship much too fast and they call it live-in. Once they realize that it is now going a little out of hand, parents are wanting you to get married. The word marriage, the institution itself, makes you wonder whether you really want to go through with it or not. And that's why I think most live-in relationships do not work. Because you get a certain responsibility. When you're in a live-in relationship, you don't care a damn. You come at whatever time, you open the door, you come to sleep. She comes in, opens the door, she eats, you eat, and that's the end of the matter. Next morning is a new day. But the moment you're getting married, you are accountable to where and what you're doing.
Right.
It is but natural, yeah. So I've seen a lot of actors and actresses during my television days who've had a relationship, a live-in relationship, and suddenly they've broken up. Because suddenly they decide that, no, I don't think this is working out. Then why get into a relationship? If you want to do it, then get into a relationship which binds you. Don't get into a frivolous kind of relationship. To have fun is a different matter altogether. But to be serious about that relationship and to end up in getting married, I think is extremely important. That I would call complete faith, trust, and love. Love is trust and faith. Love is, if you don't have the trust in your partner, if you don't have faith in your partner, then I think you should just drop it.
But do you think this industry compared to other professions, does this impact or influence love perhaps?
I don't know. I mean, generally speaking, probably it does. But when you're in a different profession, you don't meet so many people. In a profession like the acting profession, every day you're meeting new people. Every day you want something happening in your life. But then it depends on the individual also, whether you really want to go ahead with that kind of a life or you want to settle down and look after yourself.
You didn't face that from your wife's side? The level of insecurity?
No, there was no level of insecurity at all, because I had decided that, well, there were temptations and there will always be temptations, but then that is what trust and faith is, no? That is what love is. Yeah. If you don't have it, then you might as well just say, thank you, yeah. I can't carry on like this. I need to move away from this. And I don't think that is really the right thing to do, because marriage is an institution. Marriage is a responsibility to not only to the partner, to society, to your parents, to her parents, to generally everyone. I mean, people think you're responsible enough to get married, And that's why I thought, my father said, अब बहुत हो गया बेटा, अब शादी कर ही लो तुम.
So you spoke about physical intimacy in relationship. So these days it has become one of the parameters to kind of...
Yeah, I think it's given a completely different connotation to physical intimacy. You know? And as I earlier said, it is not something trivial. People do not understand the word intimacy. Intimacy does not mean sex. Intimacy means love, in other words. Today's generation probably do not understand the word intimacy. They feel that jumping into bed is intimacy. But that's not, at least as far as I'm concerned, that's not what I feel intimacy is all about.
But what do you say to this? People like vocally say this, that you know it's one of the needs, it's human body and all of that.
Yeah, everybody needs it, I'm not denying it. But then fulfill other conditions also.
Yeah, of course.
Just jumping into bed and saying, okay, fine, yeah, thanks, I had a great time, is not what is, you know, I feel should be the need of the day or need of the hour.
Right.
Everybody needs it. You need it, I need it, he needs it, everybody needs it. But it comes with certain conditions, it comes with certain parameters.
It's a part of the
It's
big
part
picture.
of the larger picture. You cannot just say, okay, I'm going to jump into bed with this person and that's the end of the matter. Tomorrow you forget about it.
Right.
That is just having a fling.
Yeah.
That's having a one-night stand kind of situation. I don't know. I mean, I feel that should not be the case.
I want to go back on the work side now.
Yes.
And so the work you've done till now, like we discussed, that there are few of the most memorable shows and films. I believe that, I don't know, just an observation that, do you think you're lucky to be a part of those shows, or hard work? But luck, why I'm saying luck? Because like every show is memorable, every film is memorable. You know, like what is the role of hard work or luck?
Yeah,
in
I
your...
think as far as these 6 iconic films are concerned, luck played a certain part in it. But I think I also got to work on merit. More merit and then luck. So I feel privileged to be a part of these 6 films.
Okay.
Never thought in the wildest of dreams that one would be a part of 6 iconic films. And I'm also, now retracting from that, I'm also a part of an iconic television commercial.
Okay.
Which is the jalebi ad. Dhara Oil ka jalebi ad, when little boy goes to the station. That was my very first ad. And today it is probably India's most iconic ad.
Yeah.
22 years or 25 years later, I did another Dhara ad where the father takes the son, who's as old as you, takes the son to the doctor, to the hospital. The audience thinks that the son is taking the father because men at that age, around 40, are very vulnerable to heart attacks and stress and the kind of work that they do and the kind of life that they lead. So the father takes the son. And when the doctor calls the name, the son looks at the father. The father looks at the son and says, after that they told me to speak. I couldn't. It was much too emotional for me. 25 years later, when you come to do an ad for the same product, Dhara. So, I think it was the latter part of my film career is hard work. There is a certain recognition about your work. It's not always luck. Yes, luck plays a part, but it's not always luck. There is, you've done that work. You've shown people what you can do. Right. And that is why people cast you in a particular film or in a television series. And I have done all the mediums. There are very few actors who've done everything, all the mediums. I've done television, I've done commercials, I've done films, I've done web series, and I've also done voiceovers. So when you do all this, you've attained a certain level
Right.
of professionalism. And I think that is the criteria for asking me to do a particular character, a particular role. I mean, people have recognized me as an actor or whatever, I mean, in their own way. So sometimes, yeah, luck plays a part, but not always.
So there are two types of people, I think. One who want to obviously work till a certain age and they retire and kind of just go with it.
Right.
Second, like there's this famous thing now, a lot of actors are saying, I want my last shot or my last breath on a film set. So what is which category do you...
I don't fall into any category. I would work till I can work and till my body says, okay, work. Once the body gives up, then you give up.
But do you think there's a lot of fuel left?
I think so. I can go, I'm nudging 70. So I can go for another 7-8 years, surely. Depending on what kind of work I get.
Yeah.
If I'm not very happy with the kind of work that I'm getting, then I would probably just sit back and relax and enjoy my life with my family and go wherever I have to go, because this is a time to see the country, see the world. We haven't seen so much of our own country. That's why I find people moving away from the country and going abroad. There's so much to see in this country. Not because of Lakshadweep.
I was thinking the same.
No, it's not because of that. But there's so many other places
that
you can actually go to. I went to Bagdogra and I shot for a film there. I'd never been to Bagdogra to shoot for a film. Kalimpong is so close by. Sikkim is so close by. You can take a flight from Mumbai to Bagdogra, you go to Kalimpong, you go to Sikkim. I haven't seen that area. And it was so beautiful shooting in those tea gardens. So I think people, I don't, when coming back to your question, no, it really doesn't matter to me where and what I do as my last shot or whatever it is. But as long as my body is fit, as long as it says, okay, carry on, I will carry on. Once it says give up, give up.
Give up. So you worked with, I think you name any actor or star for that matter, you've worked with all of them, right? And tell me about some memorable moment for you, even today, you shot with someone or on a film set, something you really feel that this is close to my heart.
Raazi comes to mind.
Okay.
I shot with probably one of the best directors. Meghna Gulzar is a fabulous director. And I've told many actors this, that if you get a chance to work for a minuscule role in Meghna Gulzar's film, do it. Because you will learn a lot. And I learned a lot. I learned being professional. I learned being meticulous. I learned being disciplined, means coming to the set on time, knowing your lines, and working to the best of your ability. Where I met Vicky, and I met Alia, I met Ashwath, I met Amruta Khanvilkar. So it was probably one of the most memorable films that I can think of. Of course, I did Talvar with Irrfan, I did Chichore with Sushant. That's another area altogether. But having worked with Raazi and with these actors, it just gave me that, that होता है ना कभी-कभी कि you don't want to prove anything, but एक अंदर से उठती है चीख कुछ अच्छा कर लो यार. I gave it my best shot, and I think I've done well in the film. When I go back to see the film, I think yes, I carried myself pretty decently in the film, and that film will never go away. It'll never be erased from anyone's mind, because one of those fantastic films that everything just fell into place. Everything just came together. I didn't know Vicky. Of course, I had worked with Meghna ji in Talvar. I didn't know Alia. I didn't know Ashwath. I didn't know anyone. I knew Rajat. He was the only man who I knew who played Alia's father. But it was one of those sets where you want to go back to that set, want to go back and do something
Right.
in that kind of a film. I felt it. I felt so much at home in Raazi after having worked with Meghna ji in Talvar.
You're talking about one more moment you said before when we were talking that I'll tell it on.
Yes. So, as you know, I think people know that Mission Raniganj was a film that we shot in York.
Right.
Because York, Bradford, Leeds was a mining area in good old days. So we shot in that area and a brilliant experience. So we used to shoot in the nights. We used to shoot from about 5:30 because UK during summer, it's light till about 10. Feels very weird. There's sunlight even at 10 o'clock, at 10:30. And then you break, then you have your dinner, and then you come back and regroup at about 11:30, shoot till about 4, go back to your hotel. So we used to do this shooting in the nights. And one day we all were having coffee and chai and all that in the afternoon once we woke up. Anant Mahadevan saw a jacket that I was wearing. So he said, Shishir, where did you get this jacket from? So I said, a place called Primark. Should we go there? I said, come. See, York is a beautiful place, very picturesque. So we went, we walked. Unfortunately, the shop had closed. Closing time was 6. While walking back, Anand said, how about shooting a short film here? So beautiful. Canal, boats, birds, restaurants on the side. Yeah, okay, fine. Will you ask Kumud? He said, yes, I will. You think he'll agree? I said, of course he'll agree. And Kumud and me had worked on stage in our theatre group. I don't think he'll say no to me. So we went back, we spoke to Kumud, he was having chai. Anant is thinking of doing a short film. How about doing it, both of us? So he said, हाँ, Shishir bhai, जैसे आप बोले. So Anant went inside the reception, got 4 sheets of paper with a pen, sat on the table. We were having coffee here. He sat there, wrote the script in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Came back to us and said, read. Read as characters. So I said, okay. We read as characters. Next day we started shooting. So we used to shoot 2 hours every day. We shot for 4 days. In 8 hours, we had a 16-minute film ready. And it is so beautiful. You sit in a restaurant there, nobody bothers you, nobody cares कि हाँ camera लेके आप shoot कर रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं. They will not come near you, they will not say, sorry sir, you cannot shoot here. Nothing of that kind. And these are restaurants on the banks of a canal. How beautiful. We shot this. Anant has sent it to various festivals. It's got fantastic reviews. Anant has got great, what would I say? He's been critically acclaimed as a fantastic director, great accolades. So, this is how we shot. And it's a memorable trip because we did 2 films. One short and one which we did because we wanted to do it. And the other one was a professional film. Mission Raniganj.
Wow.
Great. Absolutely fantastic.
Even I was living in UK for a couple of years, and I know I was just imagining everything and what you were saying, and it was like I also did one short film there, and it's a different feeling
it's a different
to kind of just shoot there.
Absolutely. And then nobody, when you shoot here, एक तो permission लेने की बहुत सख्त ज़रूरत है. So money, to me, is not the criteria to do a film. Yes, when it is a commercial film, I'll take money. But when it is a film which is being done with a mindset that, yes, I want to do this film, come what may, the subject is fantastic, I'll do it. It doesn't matter, you pay me less, no problem. Sometimes I've not done I've not taken money even for short films. It's okay. You want to do a film, you feel very connected with the film, you think that this is a fantastic subject, you identify with that subject, I will do it. No. Come to me, I will do it. But it has to be something that is motivational for me to come and work on your set.
निकालो भाई सारी scripts. एक-एक करके दिखा दे.
Anytime, yeah, anytime. No problem at all.
Well, sir, I have one last question.
Yes.
And this is what we asked to everyone. And so, after doing all of this, what do you think is the milestone of your life?
I don't think I have any milestone. I don't think I have a goal. Yes, but I do have an aspiration to play a blind man.
Oh, wow. Why is that?
It just enthralls me. After having seen Naseer Saab in Sparsh, I just feel like doing that kind of a character without glasses. I want people to feel I am blind. I want people to think that, yes, this man is actually looking at me, but he's not looking at me. That is my only aspiration in life. I wouldn't say a goal, I wouldn't say ambition, yeah, aspiration. I think that's the right word.
That's very interesting. I think none of them have answered like you did this one.
Sometimes you feel you want to do something out of the ordinary, out of the box.
Right.
Whether it be an army officer, whether it be, I've played all that. I'm done and dusted with. I want somebody to give me something completely out of the box. Sometimes I feel that I have a great comic timing, but nobody gives me that work because my persona is such. I don't blame them. I've never done comedy, so they will not know. But I want them to trust me as an actor.
Right.
If that trust is there, I will fulfill that trust in you as a director, in you as a production house. I will fulfill that trust. And if you don't feel that I am good enough, you can tell me, sir, sorry, it's not coming across. No problem. But give me that chance. And that is what I'm still hoping. That someone will say, okay, let's try you out. Everybody is not, Bachchan Saab was never a comic actor. He had always had this, the angry young man. But how beautifully he carries off both of them. So, that is my only aspiration in life.
One thing that at least I have learned, the way you speak about your contemporaries, about your seniors or your juniors at this age and stage of life with so much gratitude is something I have not seen in any actor till now, to be honest. And फिर कभी-कभी ऐसे सोच के लगता है कि यार मतलब अगर आप इस स्टेज पे रहकर भी ऐसे हो तो हमने क्या उखाड़ लिया, and thank you for this.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
And I hope everybody who's watching also learns.
I hope so.
And grows in life with discipline and dignity.
Yes, I hope so. I hope it is an eye-opener for many. And I've spoken from my heart. And I don't usually mince words. And I don't want to mince words. But what comes through from my heart is what I feel is... it's better to be straightforward than, to hide behind a shield.
Well, that's what the point was today.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Hi guys, I'm sorry first of all that I was late by about 7-8 minutes. I'm usually not late. I'm usually on time, but there's traffic in Mumbai, it's been dug up. But once I came here, I felt at home, I felt nice. I felt lovely speaking to this young gentleman, Anish Bhat, which when I come for these podcasts, I always have this feeling that the same kind of questions will be asked. And I was dreading the fact that, Anish will probably ask me the same kind of questions. The same kind of questions, I mean, how did I start my theatre? What happened? What was my theatre journey like? But I'm glad that it started off on a completely different note. And that is what, kind of inspires me to talk. I was never a person who would talk, who would express. As I told Anish, I was always an introvert. But theatre gave me a lot of confidence. And that is how I can talk. People sometimes say, enough. It is enough. Thank you so much.